Hello and welcome to Let's Breathe Together. I'm Ariel Kiley. It is Sunday, June 28th, 2020, and the theme for our gathering today is self-trust. And one thing I'd actually suggest that you have is just like a little scrap of paper and a pen for our session today. If you're open to it, we're going to go in and out of meditative and introspective experiences. And you might want to be able to track some notes around the topic today. And so that's an option. If you just have the feeling like, no, I don't want to be able to take notes, then totally you don't have to. But if you're someone who kind of likes that writing, being able to track, you could grab a pen and paper. And I was inspired to choose this theme because the phrase came into my head last week. Sometimes you just know what you know. Sometimes you just know what you know. And it was born of a combination of things. One thing it was born of is I was having an insight about something happening in an interpersonal relationship I have. And I didn't have any overt evidence that this was happening, but I just had this feeling like, I have a feeling this is going on, even though there's no evidence of it. And when I pursued it, even though I didn't have evidence and talked to the person, I realized I knew what I knew. I was exactly right on just like a psychic level. And that made me reflect on how many times in my life I've known things, I haven't trusted myself, and I've actually played out a whole series of events based on that denial of that truth. And for lack of a better word, wasted a lot of time. If I had just trusted into what I knew, I could have come to the conclusion or the outcome of the situation much faster. Also, in doing the trauma processing work I've been doing with people, the somatic experiencing, the thing I think that's maybe most exciting for me to see others experience is the revelation that their instinct was right. What their body had shown them over the years, over and over again, was true, is true. And so many of us, take on someone else's story, take on something you read in a self-help book you should do, instead of just dropping into what you know first. So today is about self-trust, you being able to feel into, really respect, appreciate, and act on what your body is telling you, your intuition is telling you from moment to moment. So we're going to do a longer just check-in breathing moment today than we usually do, because I really want you to be able to sense your whole body here. So will you please make yourself nice and symmetrical? I'm going to try and make my shirt symmetrical. Make yourself nice and symmetrical, and you can be seated in a chair. I'm sitting in a chair. You could be seated on the floor or on a cushion. You could even be standing if standing feels like the thing to do today. But make yourself nice and even, and as much as possible, make your spine upright, because that's going to help you just have a posture that's more balanced to hold. And then once you've designed your seat, I'm going to call this just gentle introversion, gently introverting. Gently just close your eyes and notice how it feels to be sitting tall with your eyes closed. Very simple. Just noticing I have my eyes closed. Noticing how the eyes feel when they're closed. And as you sense how your eyes feel, just feel into if it feels nice to have eyes closed or if it doesn't quite feel right or good today. Just noticing how it feels. And then shifting your attention just slightly to your forehead, noticing the feelings in your forehead, your frontal lobe, the front of your brain there. Noticing how it feels around your forehead. And then just letting your attention spread into your whole head and face, your ears, your skull, the hinges of your jaw. Noticing how your head feels. And resisting nothing, so just letting your head be as your head is today. This is how my head is today. And then bringing your attention into your neck, the back of your neck and your throat, and just noticing how the back of your neck and your throat feel today. Sensations, ease. Then let your attention spread down into your left shoulder, arm, and hand. So you're just sensing from the left side of your neck down the shoulder, arm, and hand, that continuity, and noticing how it feels. Changing nothing, not judging it at all, just noticing, this is how my shoulder, arm, and hand feel today. Interesting. And then bring the attention to the right side of the neck, shoulder, arm, and hand, and noticing that whole, that strip of tissue, of bone, of muscle, of nerves. It might be quite different from the left side. Notice how that feels today. So you've brought awareness to your head, your neck, your shoulders, your arms, your hands. Now shift it into your mighty torso, your thorax, your rib cage, your heart, your lungs, that upper part of your torso, your chest, your upper back. Notice how it feels today. No shoulds, no shouldn'ts, just noticing what is. Also, you might notice how the body responds to being heard and being seen and being felt. Then down into the belly and the lower back and the sides of the waist. Belly, low back, sides of the waist, low belly, your low belly bowl. Just dropping down into that bottom half of your torso, all the way down to the pelvic floor. Noticing how it feels. Sensing what's going on down there. And really feel how it feels from the inside out. And I don't know why I always want to call legs jambons, but I do. I think it means ham in French. So will you sense down your left jambon, your left, your butt, your haunches, your thigh, your knee, your calf, your shin, your ankle, your heel, your foot, all the way down that left leg. And just notice how the left leg is feeling today, listening to it, sensing it. Then shifting over to the right jambon, your butt, your hip, your thigh, your hamstrings, your knee, the back of your knee, shin, calf, ankle, heel, the sole of that foot, the toes. How does that side feel? Check in. And then see if you can broaden your attention a bit to sense your whole physical body and just feel into, do you want to make any adjustments to your position or posture? Do you have the urge to shift at all, to readjust? So you're listening in and your body is saying, hey, either I feel great right now, I feel comfortable, or a little adjustment would serve me. And this is the simplest but most radical practice of self-trust. You sense that your position is uncomfortable and you make shifts to be more comfortable in your body. You listen to that. And then for these last few moments of introspection here, will you just name for yourself how you feel overall? So just tuning in and feeling, you'll feel the effects of what happened yesterday, of recent things in relationships, of food you've eaten, of things you've drank. Feel overall how you feel today, now. And you can either just in your own mind or out loud describe to yourself how you feel, or you can write down on paper, this is how I feel, and just take a few notes on how you feel right now, denying nothing, changing nothing, just naming it. And you might feel a variety of things that seemingly contradict. Can you be excited and scared at the same time? Yes. Can you feel ease and nerves at the same time? Uh-huh. Can you feel doubt and love at the same time? Yup. And then just reflecting on what you noted about how you feel, utter to yourself, how I feel is correct. How I feel makes sense. How I feel is correct. And notice how it feels to just let yourself be as you are and decide, yeah, it makes sense. This is how I feel right now. And let's take 3 breaths together. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And inhale. And exhale. And you're welcome to stay with your eyes closed, or you're welcome to open your eyes if you wish. So the next piece of this I want to toss in is just that there are as many realities as there are people on this planet, right? So there are billions of realities walking around out there. And then, of course, within each of us, our reality is constantly shifting. Our paradigm is shifting. And one thing, when you do fully process and release something that's been kind of holding on to you, I'm sure you've noticed this, oftentimes your meaning around it changes, how you feel about it changes. So the idea here isn't to lock in and say, how I feel, this is it, this is the one reality in the world. The idea here is to trust that how you feel, what's going on for you right now, is correct in this moment, given where and how you are. And actually owning that is the way through to the next place for you to transform, to expand, to evolve to, as opposed to denying that. Actually being in it, it contains the information for the passage to the next place that you're drawn to go. So, yeah, and one more piece about that is just, if you are someone who has the tendency to be very swayed by other people's versions of reality, like you say what's going on with you and they tell you it shouldn't be, or they tell you maybe this is what's really going on, or perhaps you've read like, ooh, I shouldn't entertain this negative thought, it'll create more negative things, so I have to put this positive thought on top of it. The problem with that is twofold. One is you're denying your truth, which that fundamental self-betrayal creates friction in your own system that can lead to more and more compromise in your life from your nature and what you know you know. And 2 is just the fact that what's really going on contains that nugget that can take you forward. So this is just a simple exercise. If you do have the tendency, will you start brushing your hands together with me? If you do have the tendency to let other people's ideas, maybe ideas that you see on the news or here in a podcast, or maybe someone close to you that you love that has the best intentions for you, but can't feel you fully because they're in their body. The idea here is we're just gathering up our energy, feeling the heat between the hands, and then just gently pushing your hands out to the sides. So you push them out to the sides, you push them forward, you push them up, you push them back, and just imagine you could just push other influences away for the rest of the session. So you just have, and you can really push to the end. So you just have your animal experience going here and now. pushing, pushing, pushing. Plenty of space, unintruded by other influences. And you can even push away at the computer and really let what I say be filtered through that wall that's meant to protect your truth. So you're each going to even interpret what I say differently, right? So once you feel like you've made some space around you, pause, rest your hands, and let's take 3 breaths. Let's breathe together. Inhale and exhale. And inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. Okay. Now, open your eyes and take one of your hands. I'm kind of thinking your left hand, if you can, and place it wherever on your body you sense the most intense sensation right now. So it could be tension, it could be a knot, it could be excitement, it could be, I was just like, on your bladder because you feel some pressure there. Don't worry about what's happening on this side of the camera, okay? Place your hand somewhere where you feel strong energy. And it could be pain. That's perfectly legitimate. Close your eyes. Again, introvert your attention. Tune into that energy center. Really listen to it. And considering how you feel today, just gently ask yourself the question, why do I feel the way I feel today? Why do I feel how I feel today? And you might track an answer from recent history to deep, deep, deep into your childhood of why you feel how you feel today. Hopes that you have, dreams that you have, fears that you have, messages you've internalized. And if you feel like you've gotten an answer of why you feel how you feel today, you can really just repeat it back to yourself in your own mind to validate it, or you could write down why you feel how you feel today. And you might notice your own stuff in that, or you might notice other conditioning messages that have been passed down to you that have met with your reality and caused an internal reaction. So note on some level why you feel how you feel today. And continue to tune in and breathe. In the spirit of practicing what I teach, I'm just going to go take a leak so my body feels a little more relaxed, okay? I'll be right back. Hello. All right, so the next piece is we're going to do some gentle body movements to increase our feeling of embodiment and connection to the body. So will you again create your nice even seat and let the arms hang down at your sides and just do some big slow shoulder circles. So as you circle, you're rounding forward a bit when the shoulders come forward, you're lifting up, pulling them back, letting your head get into it some, letting your spine get into it some. So you're just moving all those bones around your shoulders, your shoulder blades, your arm bones, your collarbone, circling those shoulders. And then try circling them the other way and just see what that's like. And by moving your body like this, by engaging different muscle groups, you're just going to get more connection to all your nerve endings, all your little mechanoreceptors. So your proprioception, your sense of where you are in space gets stronger. You feel yourself more. Okay, bring the shoulders back toward neutral and lift both of your arms up alongside your ears. So lift them up high and bend one elbow, place the hand on the upper back. You could do your left elbow if you want to mirror me, and place the other hand, your right hand, on that elbow and just push the elbow up. And it's okay if your arm is more forward like this, that's totally fine. Push the elbow up, try to turn your face to the left toward that lifted arm and just push the elbow up a little higher. You can add a little side bend, lengthening through that left tricep, back of the upper arm. Then switch to the other side, reach both arms up, flex your right elbow, hand over to the upper back, push the elbow up into the palm. You can turn your face toward the right. Push the head back into the arm even if it's possible, and lean up and open to the right. Then come back towards center, reach your arms up and then just let them float, float, float back down. Let the shoulders rest. Good, nice floating, James. Let the shoulders rest and then curl your right ear over to your right shoulder. Keep dropping this left shoulder away, this opposite shoulder. If you need to, you can tap it to remind it, hey, you're staying down, buddy. Then just slowly nod your head yes, with it hanging over to the right here. And then curl your chin toward your chest, let it hang for a couple breaths. Lift your face back up and curl your left ear to your left shoulder. Drop the right shoulder away. You can tap it if you need to. And then nod your head yes over here. Curl your chin to your chest. Let it hang as you lift your chest to your chin. Then lift your head straight up and revolve it right and left. So you're just looking, keeping your spine upright, looking over one shoulder, then the other shoulder. And then one more little bit before we move on. I really don't want to be negligent of the lower body, so we'll just do something simple here. Will you please come to stand? You don't need much room. Just come to stand. Okay. Set your feet a little bit wider than your hips. Where are my feet? Can you see them? A little bit wider than your hips. Then bend your knees just a touch, so just a little bend in the knees, and circle your hips in one direction. So if you used to take yoga with me, I would call these the drunken sailor circles. You have a little bend in your knees, and you're just kind of like sloppily, just circling around in one direction. The idea of the drunken sailor is just that you're up on the deck, you're on a boat that's already tippy, and you're also a little drunk. And you don't have to be drunk on alcohol, you could just be drunk on the night air. You're like, whoa, it's such a beautiful night. You're feeling the breeze and you're feeling the waves, and you just can't help but like roll with it all, you know? And then at a nice spot, just turn it around and swirl your hips in the other direction. Feel your ankle joints all moving around, your knees, your hip joints, your upper body's just going along for the ride. And then come back in towards center and just lift one foot, lift the other foot, and feel the ground under your feet. You can even squeeze your toes in a little bit, really feel the ground down there. And then come on back to a comfortable seat for you. And just noticing how that little bit of movement maybe made you feel more invigorated, more present in your body. Now, we're going to go into a breath pattern that's going to be an extra long inhale and just an organic exhale to basically, with an arm movement, that will symbolize inclusion, okay? It's going to be all about including exactly what's going on with you, exactly who you are. So for me, the inhale, letting myself take a really full inhale, represents letting myself feel all the way down into who I am. For me, when I don't want to feel things, I have a shallower inhale. It doesn't drop down. So we're going to practice this really big full inhale, including some arm movements to encourage it. And just an organic exhale. And then we'll shift into this last part to ask our body for our truth, for our wisdom on a relevant topic at hand. Okay? So to do this breath technique, start with your palms up. Start with your palms up and just rest them down on your legs to begin with. So you're just establishing a feeling of palms up, your chest broad, and breathe into your rib cage. Inhale, expand your rib cage. And see if you can inhale from the ribs all the way down to include the belly expanding. So your whole torso is ballooning on the inhale and drawing naturally in on the exhale. Inhale, fill up, ribs, belly, the whole thing. Even more. Exhale, empty out. Inhale, fill up, ribs, belly, back, sides, all of it. Even more. Exhale, empty out. Inhale, fill up, ribs, belly, back, sides, all the way down to the pelvic floor. Exhale, empty out. And check out adding this arm movement. As you inhale, you scoop your hands in toward you. And as you exhale, you just circle them off to the sides. As you inhale, You gather your arms in toward you. As you exhale, you release them to the sides. Inhale, scoop your arms wide, wide, and pull them in. And exhale to the sides. And keep going like this. And you can find your own expression of the arm movement. But the idea is just like you're gathering yourself up. As you inhale, you're also just like embracing all that you are. And the exhale just comes out naturally as your arms fall to the sides. And as you inhabit your torso with breath, inhabit your torso with your own presence and attention. Yes, everything within is worth listening to, worth hearing, worth pursuing, worth understanding. And then bring your hands down to rest on your legs again with your palms up. And take several more really organic, long inhales. And total exhales. Then letting your body just settle into its native breath, the way it knows how to breathe without your interference. And ask your body, where is my greatest wisdom center right now? And feel what your body offers up as your greatest wisdom center right now. Is it your heart, your belly, the soles of your feet, your pinky fingers, back of your neck? And as you feel into that greatest wisdom center right now, really imagine you could pull yourself in there and look from inside that place. Look out at the world from inside that place. Keep breathing. And just drop the question into this wisdom center. What truth do I know that I don't want to forget? What do I know at this moment in my life that I want to remember? And notice what vision or sentence or thought or sensation comes up for you. And this word remember is so cool because it's remember. Like bring it back into your own member, into the members, the limbs, the parts of your body. Remember this, that you know, by breathing deeper and imagining it spreading through your whole physical body. What? Yes. Allowing several more breaths for the feeling of integration into, for what you know, into your greater physical and auric field. So you don't just think it, you embody it, you are it. And let's all take 3 breaths together. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And inhale. And exhale. And if you wish, you could open your eyes and write down to remember for yourself what you know, if you want to make sure you note it for yourself. And also, I'd love to hear from any of you in the chat box if you have any observations about our session today, any thoughts, any questions, anything that you want to just toss out there and share with the group. It really strengthens and unifies what we've done when we get to hear from each other. So please don't be shy if you feel like, oh yeah, this happened and it was interesting, and it might be interesting to Pam in Canada, or Katrina in Los Angeles, or Ariel's mom in New York City, or Amy in the UK. The feeling I was filled with at the end of doing that was just this thought, like, I can run on love. Like, so much of my life, I've run on fear, and I've run on stress, and I've run on other people's hopes or expectations of me. And as the session progressed, I felt more and more like gold light in my body, and the thought, like, I can run on love. That's what I know today. And that is some pure shit right there. That does not pollute the ozone. And what happened for you? And this really was designed to help you look into something that might be hard going on too. So it might be just that you had a little thought about that. Lindy says, I was very fidgety all day until we breathed together. Thank you. Pure shit indeed. Thank you. Grace says, felt like a traverse, feel lighter, traveled from exhaustion to energy. Cool. Amy said, that way, yummy. I know I can trust myself based on going to my pelvic basin and focusing on the heaviness rather than the lightness in my, quote, airhead. Oh, fun. I know I can trust myself based on going to my pelvic basin. Cool. And you can remember that too. Like, if you feel like you're going into airhead mode in the coming week, drop down, let it drop down to the pelvic basin. Katrina said, this session made me feel lighter. And the thought that came to me is that I'm stronger than I sometimes think I am. Great. Yeah. And even when you think the thought or say the words, I'm stronger than I sometimes think, you might feel like muscles in your body jump up and be like, yeah, you are. And I have seen you do some radical core work, Katrina, so I know you're very strong. Carrie said, breathing good. Reminds me of importance to maintain my independence and keep my energy fields positive. Awesome. And that's really cool too, because it's cool when you realize your field isn't positive to notice, is it my stuff in my field that's making it negative? Or is it another intrusive energy? And if so, how can I power up the part of myself that feels positive and fill out my field, use that independence? So I think checking in, because sometimes we check in and we realize like, that wasn't even my stuff in my field. I was just taking on other stuff. Pam said, the sensation was at the bridge of my nose, and it was such a feeling of transition and okay, this is okay. Sink into it. That's so cool. That's so fascinating, the bridge of your nose. Would you have expected that? Right? Like you don't know until you listen. JS says, I don't have to rush into anything. I will be provided for. Oof, that is a good one to spread through your soma. I don't have to rush into anything. I will be provided for. I needed that message today. Janet said, I wanted to know something important and then realized knowing nothing is what I needed. Oh, isn't that the ultimate spiritual truth? I wanted to know something important and then realized knowing nothing is what I needed. It's really fascinating too, because sometimes we're trying to rush a decision and the decision just isn't there yet. And like self-trust and being in touch with our truth is just, I don't know yet. And that can be so peace-inducing to not know when you know you don't know from within your own self. Tanya said, I need to turn the golden rule onto myself, embody the golden rule for others and myself. This came to me during this session. Oh, wow. So the golden rule is to do unto others as you would have done unto yourself. So it's like do unto yourself as you would have others do unto you, right? Like treat yourself right. Because you teach them how to treat you by how you treat yourself. Then when people come in and don't treat you kindly or respectfully, and you do that for yourself all the time, it's like, this doesn't work. This isn't what we're doing here. Aaron said, I have worth and good ideas to share with the world. Yes, you most certainly do. And continuing to feel how and where you feel that in your body will strengthen it. Tanya said, pushing the negative energy away in the beginning brightened my being and made me feel cooler. It really opened up the space around me. Nice, nice. And that's free, right? All you need to do that is have arms. And even if you lose your arms, you can do it with your thoughts. Imagine arms pushing away. Great. Such a joy to be with you all. So fun. My heart feels so much fuller for having got to do this with you. I'm going to sit for another just like minute or two, just to kind of like close this peacefully down. But in the meantime, this week, practice trusting yourself. When you feel something, know that that feeling is correct for that moment. Track back into your why and ask that feeling, what's the way through, the true way through for me? It's amazing how much wisdom is right in here when you choose to trust yourself. And if you want to do any trauma or stress processing with me, I'm just full on doing these somatic experiencing sessions. That's all I'm doing right now. The work is blowing me away. I'm just loving it. So reach out to me if you're curious about doing that work. Okay, either sit with me or leave as you wish. Coming to a really sweet spot and really just hanging out and be as you are. Come as you are and be as you are for this next minute or so. Just trusting You are just as you should be. For these last couple breaths, ask your body intelligence to integrate any insights, anything you want to keep from your session today. Just ask body intelligence, please integrate now. And notice how the rest of your day goes. I felt a lot from you all today. This was a big one. So it'll be interesting to see how your interactions with other humans for the next day or two, and animals and trees go. Okay, big love. Mwah. I'll be back next week. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thanks, Tanya. Thanks, Sarah. Thanks, Janet. Thanks, Katrina. Thanks, Carrie.